Hi, and welcome to the Angel Advisory for the week of May 17th to the 23rd. This month is zipping along quickly. Before we know it, we'll be into June. This week, energetically, with the alignment of the stars and everything and the planets, and that is a big week. We have our new moon happening tomorrow. Some say that it starts tonight in the Pacific Standard Time, and others say it starts tomorrow. So take your pick on that. Either way, we have a new moon happening, which is all about manifestations. And this new moon is in the sun sign of Taurus. So we have this slower, more stable energy that sort of will help us to build. And so my feelings on this are what we are manifesting now will have the stability and the foundation to it. And because it is a slower, more plodding energy, it should be far going into our future. So this is really good for us. So really be thoughtful on what you want to manifest and bring into your life with this new moon. And then say a silent prayer, do a little cup of tea, chocolate ritual, whatever soothes you and whatever suits you for this full new moon, make sure that you do manifest something into your life. It is also, Mercury goes retrograde tomorrow as well. So when Mercury is retrograde, and this happens like 4 times a year at least, and it lasts for a few weeks, 3 weeks roughly, each time it goes into retrograde. And so this really, we need to start looking at Mercury retrograde in a different fashion. And yes, there can be like no contracts and no big projects during this time, but it's more of an inner time. So it's more of a revitalizing and renewing and redoing anything that you have started, by all means, or if you have projects that you have not sort of completed, and that by all means keep working on them and sort of maybe reinvent, reinvest, everything. Okay, so I really like the rejuvenate and that. So take this time for some inner retrospection and just sort of re-energize, reinvigorate yourselves. So this week, I'm going to be drawing cards from the Energy Oracle card deck by Sandra Ann Taylor. I was just saying it's time for me to get a new deck, because when I'm coming to pick these, it's sort of like, they didn't quite, all of my decks that I have didn't quite feel right. So I will be on the look for a new deck, so stay tuned. We should have one soon to see what we're going to have. Okay, this card wants to come up reversed today. It's financial constraints. So that means, and appropriate with the new moon coming in, maybe you are manifesting some financial ease into your life where things are going to flow a little bit more smoothly. Financial constraints, if it was upright, would mean that we're going to have some tight times coming up this week. We're going to have to be really watching of our pennies and that. And with it in the reverse position, well, we still have to watch how we spend our money and where we are investing that energy that we actually make that energy, because we work for that energy. And that it just sort of seems like it'll be a little bit of an easing. I'm sort of getting, there might be small gifts coming to people this week that will just sort of may have you breathing a sigh of relief, if even for a little moment. This month also is all about balance, the month of May. If you looked at my angel reading for the month, it's all about balance, but it also talks about somewhere in that I have been given, it's about needs versus wants. And that's how we get our balance. It's like knowing that our needs are always provided for. Maybe not our wants, but our needs definitely are provided for. So pay attention this week. Watch how you're investing your financial energy and where you're putting it to. And also be on the lookout to have some easing if you have financial constraints to be coming your way, making life a little bit easier for you. That's always a good sign and a good card to have coming out in that fashion. The Magician and the Mirror. The Magician is all about you, and you are the magician in your life. You manifest and you bring things to you that you want. So the mirror aspect of that is when we are having negative thoughts, or we're condescending, or we're judging others, we are actually manifesting that in our life as well. So really be conscious this week about where you're spending your energy and your thought patterns and that. Try and have it be more compassionate and more loving and kind this week. And it'll just sort of, that will be coming back to you. So if you're noticing that this week is discombobulated, and before you put it onto, well, Mercury is retrograde, take a look in the mirror and see what you are magically having appear in your life. Because you are the magician that controls the flow of what comes into your life. And he really has, he has the balance of air and fire and the affinity symbol over his head. So he really is the creator. He is the creator of all. If he's looking in the mirror, it sort of is like what is projected there comes back towards him. So just really keep that conscious this week and just be aware of what you are putting out, because it will come back, and really quickly. Oh, okay, we have two cards that are flying out together. So the first card is the fifth chakra, which is Archangel Gabriel. So our fifth chakra is our chakra of communication. It is our throat chakra. It is how we communicate. It's not only in the written, but it is also, or the verbal, but it is also in written. And this is our communication thing. So this tells me that anything that is sort of we feel stymied by or held back by, and that we need to use our words to communicate to whoever we need to communicate to what it is that is bothering us. It also goes the other way in that if someone does something that you value and appreciate, or you just love how they do this, it's time to acknowledge that to them as well. The second card that's behind it is the Angel of Love. So this means that communicating with beautiful words and with truth but gentleness to whoever we need to communicate with. And that this is really a beautiful card. I am being given that this is love of self. Communicate to yourself all the things, forgiveness of self, communication of love to self, and that don't always look to others for validation, but also make sure that you are communicating, and that from a kind and loving place, no matter what news or message you need to be giving to someone else, whether it's yourself or a close peer, family, or friend, and that is what you need to know this week. This is such a beautiful picture. She's holding what looks like a glass or a bubble heart is right here. She has beautiful flowers in her hair. It's just like peaceful and loving. I love this card. There's so much symbology in it. And he is holding up, well, I want to say that in his hand here, it's like his hand is sort of like the flame of truth. So speak your truth this week. Know that the Angel of Love will be with you each step of the way, just sort of helping and guiding your words. We'll do one more card. And we are going to get Man Holding a Heart. So this could mean that towards the end of the week, there could be this communication of truth, could be with the person that you love. They're holding your heartstrings, and perhaps it's a little bit stressful, discombobulated right now. Perhaps there's something that you need to communicate to them that you're having difficulty thinking about how to communicate to them. Know that this is a really good week to be able to do this. This is reassessing, this is reevaluating, everything, reviewing. Okay, so this is a really good week to reinvent, rejuvenate, refresh. So that's the Angel Advisory for this week. Thank you all once again. Remember that retrograde does not mean just like bad things happening. It actually can be used as a powerful time for you to just go within and have some introspection and just sort of review things that are going on in your life. Namaste to each and every one of you. I honor and send angel blessings to each of you. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week.